Someone's going to win a league off of Jaden Blue, off Davis, Ray Davis, Deebo Samuel, Isaac Guerendo, Brashard Smith, Dylan Sampson, Emeka Egbuka. We've got so many league winners on the board right here, and I'm not done. This is not it. This is just a small handful of players that we have to prioritize because you can't draft them all, especially guys like this where they might not do some damage for a little bit of time. Blue could get you no points in week 1, 2, 3. Samson will probably be more involved now that Judkins, week 1's looking very iffy. Less likely to play week 1 than to play week 1. Brashard Smith, we hear good things about. We don't know if he's going to be full go week 1. So we've got to try and prioritize or discuss strategy of how to own shares of all these guys across different leagues. Maybe it's best ball where you maximize this type of approach. Maybe in your home league, you're grabbing just a Davis or a Sampson or definitely an Egbuka, Deebo, Guerendo. Maybe you can't. Maybe you monitor on the waiver wire some of these guys. Either way, your mind's going to be turning. Your senses will be spidey because we're going to make sure you're at least keeping tabs on all the players sitting here. So we can make sure that no one's walking out of week 1 going, Smitty, but what do I do with my waiver wire dollars? Do I full load drop on Brashard Smith? Smitty, you were right about Dylan Sampson. We want to prevent that. That is the goal here tonight. And we will draft on Underdog, promo code Smitty. That link is being dropped right now. It's already pinned in the live chat. We'll draft tonight. We'll smash tonight. We're doing it live. So click that link. Use code Smitty. They'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. We're doing it live. The Fantasy Football Show. The Graveyard Show. We're here midnight Eastern. A little late sometimes. Tonight's late. I'm sorry. Midnight Eastern. Every single night if we can do it. If we can do it, we'll do it every single night because we cook. We cook here.
Let him cook.
We got a lot of different noises going on. We got some of these comments. I've been reading these comments right here. this comment right here is probably my favorite. Let me scroll down. Where is it? It's this one right here. I was just reading this one right here. If you want a surefire in capital letters way to let everyone, every single one of your league mates gain an advantage on you from the beginning of the draft, take Ashton freaking Genty. And then he writes, absolutely nobody's copying anything on your show, dude. That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard Mr. Smitty say. That's interesting, Joel. That is a very, very interesting take you have there. Sometimes I read my comments in just to get a good chuckle. Anyway, let's do it live. Let's talk first and foremost about this man Isaac Guerendo since he's on the corner of the screen. This is somebody that the sound effects are fine. What are you talking about? It's loud, volume fixed. You know what? It's this right here. I'm so sorry.
Let him cook.
There, I lowered it a little bit. That might be one of the loudest. My mic's low again. Not this again. Not this again. Whenever there's an update to a couple different plugins, I think I've cracked this though. Automatically adjust microphone volume, and I have that turned off. We should be good. I don't know. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. How about now? Check 1 2. Brees Hall, please report to the moon. Brees Hall, please report to the moon. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Okay. Isaac Guerendo is a phenom, a player that, in my opinion, could drop league-winning numbers every game that he starts, but he does qualify as a different type of player than a potential Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson's the kind of player that from the jump might be getting 3-4 receptions a game. Dylan Sampson from the jump, even if let's say Jerome Ford starts week 1 and there's no Judkins in week 1, Sampson's probably going to still get you enough run that he's a startable player. Egbuka, obviously a startable player. Deebo, a elite wide receiver 2 potentially that you're drafting as a quiet, don't tell anybody wide receiver 3. Brashard Smith and Guerendo share a very similar value in that they may not be an attractive player to own in a league where you can only house 5 running backs. And so you got to watch them, monitor them. But again, this show isn't just about housing all these players at once. It's making sure you're familiar with the names so that if lightning strikes and you can grab one of them during an injury in a league where you can only house 5 running backs, you'll know what to do, how to react, and how quickly to run to go grab these players. There are some leagues where none of these players are going to be available, or some of them might. In Dynasty, deep Dynasty leagues, Ray Davis won't be available. Brashard Smith probably won't be available. Jaden Blue won't be available. Dylan Sampson certainly isn't available. Guerendo's not available, but we can touch on a couple other players that might be available. But Guerendo is a player that if he gets in there, might have more ability to outscore every single face on the screen so far. Because he can be Christian McCaffrey. He can get Christian McCaffrey volume. He can get almost, I would think, near guarantee 100 yards per game, 4 to 5 receptions, and about a 90% chance of a touchdown every single game he starts. 4.3 speed, monster size. This is the best, I think, replacement you could find for Christian McCaffrey, especially given how he fits the system and how quick and agile and how good his hands are. This is a perfect fit for Kyle Shanahan anyway. If CMC goes down, or I don't even want to say if, when CMC goes down, Guerendo goes into the top 6, maybe top 7 if we're being safe, 7 to 10 running back conversation. Could he even be, is this a player that we can envision being a running back number 3? Could he play as a running back 3 going forward? He could. This could be the number 3 running back in fantasy football at some point per start in fantasy football if Christian McCaffrey goes down. So I very, very much am a fan of drafting this cat anywhere in a fantasy draft. Underdog, I'm smashing Guerendo like crazy. In fact, I need to take more of them. I need to grab more Isaac Guerendo. And Guerendo and Jordan James is Mason and Guerendo from last year. There's a world where Jordan James ends up starting because Guerendo ends up getting hurt. That world does exist. Unfortunately, we live in a world where that can happen. And I'm not saying that every league can afford you the opportunity to house 2 running backs that are not even the starter on a roster. Why you've got all these other things going on and you gotta focus on. That's where you've got to make the decision for yourself. That's where we're trying to implant the seed in your brain so that when the time comes, Jordan James is on your mind and you're ahead of the curve in going and grabbing him. So some formats you can't just grab him. Some leagues you can't just grab him. But this is a world where I have to at least prepare as though some of you can grab both of them, like we did the Mason Guerendo home run league-winning smash last year.
Let him cook.
We did it live.
Mashed potatoes!
Mason Guerendo, people laughed at us. They said, Smitty, how am I supposed to draft 2 running backs, one of which isn't even the starter? How am I supposed to cuff that kind of glory on my team? And I said, that's not my problem. That's your problem, Steven. And Guerendo and Mason won leagues for people in 2025. As will probably Guerendo and Jordan James, at least Guerendo.
Well, no going back now. You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah, we have to. Let's go. Start the procedure.
Yeah, John, look at that. Yeah, that looks great, Kyle. Look at him. Look at him.
Gurendanites, unite!
That's another loud one that I got to adjust the volume on. I'm sorry about how loud he gets at the end there. This is a league winner. League winner. If I had to like put this on a scale, and I'll get a meter going where we can actually stamp the confidence meter on this. Right now I'll write it. But the confidence meter of him being a league winner from 1 to 10, like that it happens, that he becomes a league winner. Not that what's his ceiling value. His ceiling value, I just told you, is maybe running back 3 if he's starting, you know? But sum total, how many games does he play? Like, who knows what he actually ends up as running back what. But per start, he could be, I would say, safely count him as a 7, maybe 6 to 10 running back per start if he's starting. But this is a player that can be running back. I could see him being running back 3. That's the way he could deliver points. I would probably say confidence level that he wins leagues for people out of 10. I would say this is a 7. And I think actually I do have this for the ad drop board, so it would be 7 being the ad of the year. Instead of being the ad of the year, though, this is going to be the acquisition of the year. So like a 7 out of 10, maybe even probably 8. Yeah, let's put 8. I think 8 is a little bit more fitting. 8 score of 8 out of 10 that Guerendo can be or will be this year's league winner. So 8 out of 10. Next up on the board, let's stick with the former 49er theme here, but this is a former 49er. So Guerendo, we're going to put you in the bullpen, young man. Thank you for playing. Deebo Samuel. This guy is reportedly, with AI these days, it's hard to even know what's true. Some of the news, but the reports floating around today that he's at like a sub 10% body fat. I don't know where he's actually at on his body fat and how much truth you want to put into that number that people keep throwing around. But this is a guy that's in tremendous shape right now. He's in tremendous shape despite what you hear, despite what the regurgitating Roger is telling you. He's out there. He looks overweight. He's not quick. This is Deebo Samuel. He never was a DK Metcalf sprinting down the field, speedy wide receiver that runs a 4.3. This is a guy that gallops like a galloping monster, league winner, that just floats around the field looking for his blockers, finding the open seams, running at a 70 to 80% speed anyway as he's navigating those spaces. And you either usher him out of bounds with a group of 4 or 5 guys. Like, come on, sir. It's almost like a secret special agents. Like, let's get him out of the sideline, and they all just usher him out of the sideline, or he ends up in the end zone. There's a reason that Deebo Samuel is one of the best yak yardage players to ever play the game. There's a reason that Deebo Samuel, even in last year's bust of a season, even though he was doing what we said he was going to do initially, then he got hurt, he was broken tackles number 7. He was number 3 in yards after contact. And the other pieces of this obviously unfolded badly for him because of the Niners and how everything went down. But he still was showing remarkable ability. And then when push came to shove at the end of the year and Kyle Shanahan was ready to trade him, he showcased him and he delivered and he looked really good in a very short span of time. This is a player that with McLaurin maybe holding in, unhappy, being a year older than Deebo, 30-year-old wide receiver, 29-year-old Deebo Samuel. This is a world where Deebo could even be the number 1 wide receiver on the team. I'm not saying that we don't love McLaurin. I'm not saying that McLaurin and Deebo both don't have amazing seasons. That's certainly possible. And JD5 can feed that. But just because I love Deebo so much to say he could maybe outscore McLaurin, that doesn't mean I don't like McLaurin. It just means that this player is such a good fit for Kingsbury and how they'll want to use him. He'll play wide back. He won't play running back. He'll play wide back. He'll be all over the field, and he has the best quarterback he's ever even dreamed of playing with, throwing him the ball. This is going to be the most amazing, efficient year Deebo's ever had. And keep this in mind. Even if Deebo did lose a step, which he hasn't, he looks phenomenal right now. I've got it on my Instagram. Don't listen to the regurgitating Roger. Even if he loses a little step or whatever the case may be, keep in mind that he's going to have more room to navigate than he ever has before because JD5 has got a spy on him at all times. Defenses have to contain JD5. This man's not going to be a focal point of a defense, getting double teamed, getting bullied at the line of scrimmage. This is a man that's going to be open more than he's ever been open before. And the way he catches a football on a short pass, a short slant, or at the line of scrimmage, or just slightly behind in wide back formation, catches that ball and navigates across the field when you're pulling in, the defense is following JD5, and there's this wide open lane where this guy gallops untouched for 15, 20 yards. It's going to be a marvelous season for Deebo Samuel. He is a league winner. Now, you could say, Smitty, this has burned me before. I'm not trusting Deebo. I'm going to ask you why. Because Deebo goes now in round 6, 7. Are you really scared of getting Deebo round 6, 7 value? Are you scared that you're going to lose a league off of a 904 season from round 6, 7? Aren't you more concerned with the upside that you'll be missing out on in 6, 7, where the risk is all baked in and packaged into his value? I'm not asking you to take him in round 3. I'm not asking you to take him in round 4 or even round 5. Had I come into this live stream or all offseason said, hey, let's go get this man. Let's go get this man. And is somebody having a problem with the volume? Why do I keep seeing volume concerns? John says, save your hearing. Volume is great. I don't know what that means. Is the volume fine or not? Let me know. But otherwise, stop talking about it. So Deebo Samuel is going to win leagues for people. And if I'd come in here and said, hey, trust me, one more ride with Deebo. Everybody, just one more ride, saddle up, take him in round 2 or 3. Just trust me. I know you could lose your league on this, but trust me one more time. I don't even need to do that. This is round 6 and 7. If I'm wrong, we can all laugh together and move on. It's that deep into the draft where you're not losing a league on this. I'm drafting so much Deebo Samuel, you wouldn't believe your eyes at the exposure percentage of owning Deebo on Best Ball. I'll even read it to you right now. I think I have it right here. It might have even been updated. This is a screenshot from about 24 to 48 hours ago. So this is going to be a little bit different, probably a little higher because I have been smashing Deebo Samuel the last couple of drafts. I know that. Deebo Samuel, 43%. And this is low. These are rookie numbers. I can get these numbers up by the end of the weekend. I'll get this above 55, maybe 60% by the end of the weekend. 43% of the leagues on Underdog, I have drafted this man, Deebo Samuel. Why? Because the upside's well worth the risk. Even in terms of saturation and having multiple teams get affected, the upside of having him on 43% of my team so I can have a positive variant that gives me an advantage over everybody else right from the jump in round 6, 7 is worth the risk. It may not be for everybody to hit the 43%, not asking you to follow me into the fire at this tune. But I am saying that this is a player you should be owning at least in a few leagues. And I'm not scared to own him in redraft versus best ball. That doesn't matter at all either. This is a glorious pick, and his value is one of the better values in fantasy. This guy, Emeka Egbuka, is another player that I've been drafting, and I just can't stop drafting. His ability to be not just an amazing league-winning wide receiver 3, which is where you can draft him, and I'm getting him in 38%. These are rookie numbers too. I need to pump these rookie numbers up to at least, something around the 40-45%. This is a great player. This is a guy that's been a rover, played with better wide receivers than he's currently playing with now, and Mike Evans and Godwin. Mike Evans was amazing, kind of still probably is, but he's definitely going to drop off a little bit, right? He's probably going to slow as the season comes to a close. I'm not saying he won't have even 1,000 yards even and 7 touchdowns, but this is a room that's not near as talented and it's great. It's an amazing room, don't get me wrong, but his college wide receiver room was always better than the current wide receiver room he's playing with now. He's used to playing with Jeremiah Smith in a group of the best wide receivers you could possibly get together and put on one roster. He comes from a wide receiver producing university. And this guy's been a rover on those teams, trying to fit in where they need him to fit in. And his kick returning style of play, his inviting of hits, and we were higher on this guy than anybody. We're talking him up as the wide receiver 2 in this draft class behind Travis Hunter before anybody even sniffed the 3 or 4 wide receiver ranking for this kid. This has been and always has been my number 2 wide receiver, my number 1 most ready to play football, NFL ready wide receiver, even over Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is just bleeding a little more talent than him, and so he's got the edge, but this is a player that I wouldn't be surprised if he's the number 1 producing wide receiver during his rookie season. Pulls a BTJ. If there's a BTJ in this class that could be maybe not 4 overall like BTJ was, but top 10, top 7, top 12, it could be this kid. And he goes in and plays football with Baker Mayfield, who's going to pepper him with targets. Godwin's not ready for week 1. Even if he rushed back and did end up playing week 1, he's probably going to get hurt. He's going to be very prone to injury this year. And Egbuka is he's going to fly in the wide receiver 3 role anyway. Egbuka is going to save people when they have injury, and he's their wide receiver 4. Egbuka is going to knock your healthy, well-playing wide receiver 3 right out of the wide receiver 3 spot. Egbuka could get you 1,000. He could get you 1,100 yards, or even if it was a 900 type yard season, he could still get you 9 touchdowns. This is a guy that could get this line right here. I don't want to say like in his sleep, but this is a very, very likely possibility. Something along the lines of 80, 1,109. This is the kind of season that I'm going to expect out of Emeka Egbuka. And if he doesn't get it, I'll be actually disappointed. And this is, I believe, a Mars man.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man.
Mars man extraordinaire, Emeka Egbuka. You are Smitty approved,
Loads
young man.
dropping.
You've just been Smitty.
League winner. League winner. These are league winners. Absolute league winners. Just monsters in the making. You're in the lower section now, Egbuka. Enjoy your reign. Brashard Smith, I'm not going in any particular order. I didn't give you a meter of win a league value, did I? So let's go back to Deebo real quickly. Deebo Samuel, the odds of being the league winning player or being a league winner, I would say is kind of similar to that of you know, the number 1 player we've already talked about, Guerendo. So I would say 8. He feels very, very league winning from that draft slot. And as for Emeka Egbuka, I would say that because maybe the upside's a little higher for the other 2, I could see this being like a 7 or an 8. Not necessarily 9, but I'm going to say 8. I'm going to say these are all 8s. All 3 of them are 8 out of 10 score for being a league winner. Like you win a league because you drafted them. I'm not going to even water down Egbuka's upside. I'm just going to put it in the same as Deebo and Guerendo. Fantastic. We got a couple of super chats, and we had a super chat at the end of the show. Who was that, by the way? Here's where it was. It was Green. Green, are you here, bro? I have your super chat here. I put it on the end screen so that I wouldn't lose it. Green, are you here, bro? Green said, rank these players, and I said that it was going to be, if it's Dynasty, it's Garrett Wilson, MHJ, Rice right now. I could put Rice too. I really could, but I think you know, you're trying to win in Dynasty 2. You're, you know, in year 1, you're also trying to prepare for the future. But Rice could go 2 or 3, but Garrett Wilson's 1. And in a redraft, it's going to be Garrett Wilson, MHJ, JSN, Rice, then DK. I still draft Rice over DK Metcalf because I can get another player to fill in. I'm not worried about that. Thank you for the super chat. We got 2 super chats here from Sam. Sam says the Killer Bees, Baker, Bucky, and Buka. Yes, Sam, love it. It's such an amazing offense too. And listen to Smitty, y'all. Smitty called CMC last year. Thank you, Sam. Sam referencing the Guerendo call. I mean, we nailed the Jordan Mason Guerendo call. It was such an amazing cuff. It was a league winner, and I think that everybody should be listening loud and clear, like Sam just said, when we talk about these midseason monsters, which most of these league winners are on this board as well. So Guerendo and Jordan James are league winners together, but it depends on your build and the way you can roster running backs and how many running backs you can hold. Guerendo would be the main guy, and then James if you can cuff it. Dylan Sampson. We're going to get to all these other players in a second. Charbonnet we'll talk about in a minute too. He is definitely a league winner. I might gloss over some of the names so that we can get to drafting, but Brashard Smith, to me, I would say that he's got more of like a 7 rank. I don't know if I'm going to go through the ranking on all of them, but I'd say like a 7. Best being the best ad of the year, or the best draft acquisition of the year. I think 6, 7. You could even put 6 here and not everybody gets a trophy, But he's got the potential. I think the reason why he wouldn't be a 7 or 8 is because he's got to do a little more climbing. Pacheco's got to get injured, and there's still a world where they don't necessarily roll him out as a starter. There's a lot of unknowns, but the upside is there. The ability for him to be a top 10 running back is in the cards. He's such a crafty player to own. Dylan Sampson feels like he's a 7/8 in terms of being the best pick of the year. And there's Ford in the way. There's Judkins coming back. There's some obstacles, but the talent level's there. There's a reason he's my number 1 running back in Cleveland and always has been, even when the draft concluded. I said this is the better running back. It's just unfortunate that he was drafted after. It'll be an uphill climb for him, but he's already secured the reception confidence of his coaching staff, and so he's going to get work no matter what. And he has that ability to win a league, no doubt about it. I love Dylan Sampson to the mother freaking moon. We got Jaden Blue, who's there's some questions about his size. Can he hold up as an every down back? But I'm not worried about those questions anymore with rushers. I'm just not. And I think teams aren't looking at it that way either. They're not like, oh, I'm not going to give him a chance because he's too small. If he gets out there and explodes, they're going to give him the opportunity. He's probably in the 6, 7 territory out of 10 of being a league winner. I don't want to give everybody a 7 and an 8, but he's certainly capable of it. I kind of put the big dogs on the screen first, and then we'll get into some other players that may or may not have 7 or 8 scores. Maybe we run into a person I can put at 9, and I'm just not there yet. Charbonnet, certainly an 8 when we get to him. I won't ruin that. I just did. That's okay. Charbonnet, wait your turn. Ray Davis, 7 or 8. There's definitely room for an 8 here. I think just because James Cook was so effective from a touchdown perspective, and that his team does probably want to lean on him enough that there's needing to be an injury. This could be a 6 or a 7 if you wanted to knock it down to a 6. I could understand. It doesn't mean that it can't work out. It's, a 7 out of 10 doesn't necessarily mean it can't be the one that wins the league. It's just the odds are a little bit different, right? It doesn't mean anything really all that negative. Going through the wide receivers, if I'm just trying to find yet another receiver that has that potential to be league winning, I like Luther Burden a lot, but I'm not going to put Luther Burden on this board. I think Keon Coleman deserves to be conversation needs to be had about Keon Coleman just because he looked so good in the offseason. He looked so good last year. He looked like a league winner. And at the end of the day, it's definitely, let me see if I can move this back. I don't know what the heck's going on with my screen. It's like freezing all over the place. Keon Coleman's definitely somebody that we need to consider as a league winner. So I'll put Keon Coleman back on the board here. Put him over here. I don't know. It could be like a 5 or a 6, maybe 5 in terms of value. We're not really going in any specific order. Like I said, I could run into an 8 or a 9 in a second. Super chats, I'll answer in order in which they're received. We'll open up phone lines in just a second. So hang tight. Looking through the wide receivers, I'm going to say, Royals is interesting. I won't put him at a high number, but he's worth mentioning right now because of Rashee Rice. He's definitely got upside, but I don't know if I'll put him in the same bucket. A few things need to happen, but he's a talent that we're going to keep an eye on, and he could develop into something that we're talking about here. Higgins is nice. I like Higgins a lot. I think Trey Harris could be potentially a league winner, especially if he signed his rookie deal and the retirement of Mike Williams puts him in the spotlight. If Ladd got hurt, this could be a league winner. And so injury kind of needs to play into it, similar to one of these running backs that needs an injury. It's not like Brashard Smith's a league winner until something happens. You could say the same thing about Harris, which will make that number not an 8 or a 9 because it needs a big, significant injury. But even if, let's say, he doesn't see an injury that opens the door to number 1 targets, I think his cost of entry still makes him near league winning. Just if he drops a 1,000-yard, like a 10-10-6 season, and he's fully capable of that. I'm drafting so much Trey Harris right now. He's becoming one of my very favorite wide receivers to draft when you're talking about like wide receiver 4-5 or wide receiver 5-6 specifically, if you can get him in that territory. But I love Harris. He's fantastic. Put him right there. Pat Bryant's an interesting name that, you know, we at least could throw out. I don't know that I'll even put him on the board, but keep an eye on him. I'm deleting the guys that I just want to mention because they could be this good. A.O. Minor is another guy that could be the rookie receiver over in Tennessee. He could be Cam Ward's number one if Ridley ends up getting hurt or fails. Keep an eye on Restrepo as well. That was his college wide receiver. Thornton could be a league winner if he gets a shot. This also could be the next Callaway. I remember Callaway in New Orleans, so much upside, and then it just fell flat and didn't work out. Thornton's either the next Marquise Callaway or he's the next breakout wide receiver. It's going to go one way or the other. Just be prepared for both. Tesla's kind of got that injury situation going where if something happens, he could be a league winner, but I'm not going to put him on here. I think I've got all the wide receivers that I want to have conversations about, at least right now. I'm not putting guys like a Dunze. He's too big of a name. I'm not putting a guy like Pickens or J-Mo. Those are too big of names. We're going deeper with this thing. We're not going to throw out obvious, Oscar calls right here. Swinging on over to the RB. We're not going to throw Hampton or Hendy or Harvey. Those are too big of names to crack this list. Those guys don't count. Charbonnet certainly needs to be on this list, and Charbonnet 100% could win leagues. And if anybody is an 8, it's Charbonnet. Charbonnet is going to at least hold that 8 value. Maybe you could even argue 9. Like if injury happened, he would be a 10. So but the fact that Walker is still there, he's got to get injured. It's hard to do much more than an 8, and even then, that's impressive because it does require an injury. Scatterbo needs to be talked about, but he's a guy that we'll delete for now, but he's a monitor to get into this conversation if things happen. I think Caleb Johnson's got the upside and skill set, but the situation, I need to see more out of that situation. It's a committee. Jaylen Warren's a serious threat. Jordan Mason needs to be talked about as a league winner. He is the 1B in Minnesota, but because Aaron Jones is actually the starter, this still qualifies, and this would be like a 7 out of 10. If he could catch more footballs, he'd be an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But he's such a threat for touchdowns, he's still going to be on this list. Bigsby, certainly in the cards. Tootin and Bigsby together need to be kind of, they're like a duo. It's hard to really draft one without the other, but they're certainly on this list. So I'm going to put Bigsby over here, but we have to put Tootin with them just because, and Etienne's in the mix too, but he's a bigger name, so I'm going to leave him off. But Etienne could still, become a league winner if he bounced back. I hate to put this name on the board, but it needs to be talked about. Jarquez Hunter could absolutely win a league if he got in there. He's a monster. He took Blake Corum's mom out for dinner, never brought her home until like 1 or 2 a.m. Corum was upset. He took Corum's job and his mom. He's a monster, absolute monster. Keaton Mitchell, man, this kid's exciting. This was Achane 2.0 during his rookie season. Achane was going off. Mitchell was going off. This guy was averaging 8 yards per carry. He was going crazy. Love him. He's got so much upside and appeal. Sean Tucker, I hate to say, anything that references injury to any of our top dogs. Sean Tucker gets into that lineup. He could be a league winner. And he's the true cuff to Bucky, not Rachaad White. Although Rachaad White owners get their panties in a bunch when they hear me say that. They can't fathom that Sean Tucker is the backup. They don't even understand it. They're like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? How is that the case? Krosky, Merritt, lots of league winning potential. It's gonna be hard for him. He's got a leapfrog. You got Eckler there, so like he almost is somebody you would delete and monitor, but certainly got league winning potential if he does get into the lineup. Jalen Wright's got some upside. I like him a lot, but we'll leave him off for now. Ray Davis, we already put on. We love Ray Davis. Braylon Allen, there's a little bit of upside there for that. Benson qualifies. Benson might qualify as an 8 out of 10 because I love this kid. And Connor's old. He always gets injured. Last year was the first year he really didn't get injured. And it was just ironically the year we thought Benson would get in there. But Benson could easily win a league and be a top 8 to 10 running back if he was, in there starting. So Benson for sure. Let me see if I have any other RBs that qualify. I want it to be a deep call. Jaylen Warren does need to be discussed, in my opinion. We're talking about Warren and, ironically, the two, there is a starter on the board here if we're talking Warren and Caleb Johnson, right? One of the two is going to thrive, but both of them are going so late that they're kind of, in a sense, holding back of value. Jaden Blue, I think we got everybody. This seems to be all the names that I want to discuss in terms of win a league potential. From the tight end position, honestly, this is a tough one to really call out, other than to say Isaiah Likely, who does go really, really deep. He's easy to put on this list because it seems like it shouldn't be a player we call a sleeper, but he's got 8 out of 10 potential from that unique tight end position that is so hard to find that breakout top 5 guy inside or outside the top 10. He for sure has that ability and capability. Looking at the rest of Ingram, I don't want to say Ingram is a player that we almost can't throw in here because his ADP is still very late. So if you want to win a league, and this is probably the most obvious on the entire board because he's a starter, everybody knows he's good, everybody's seen him play, but for some reason he doesn't get drafted high enough to really call a locked in, like high, even middle round pick. This is a guy that can win you a league and probably say that's an 8 out of 10 as well. Ingram's a freaking monster. Again, we're not doing any big name players. This is more of a shopping for value on the board. So none of the Triple H and Associates, if anybody's wondering why you don't see, Harvey or something, is too big of a name to throw out on this show. Kyle Pitts, I like him, but Jalen Warren's Tyler Warren's a little too high of a ranked player to discuss. I love Fannin. I love Gadsden. Gadsden goes up big time by the retirement of Mike Williams. Gadsden's a nice call. Ferguson, the other rookie tight end in LAR, he could be really good. I like him a lot. And then other tight end, I said Fannin Jr., Ferguson, likely. Okay, and then a quarterback. There really is only one quarterback that comes to mind, other than the two we're gonna hit at the end. But this is not somebody that you can't steal away. You can. Cam Ward is a top 10 quarterback that you don't have to draft anywhere near the top 10. And it almost feels silly that he gets to sit amongst these bigger reach players. So Cam Ward, especially in Superflex, this is the biggest Superflex winning formula, is Cam Ward in the 4th or 5th round or wherever you can get him. Cam Ward is, to win a league in a 1 QB, a little bit harder. But it's a best ball, the rotation of it could definitely give you that 7 or 8 value potentially. I love Cam Ward. Cam Ward in Superflex, Cam Ward might be a 9. In Superflex, the confidence scale of being a league winner might be 9. In 1 QB, it does drop a little bit because there's so many good quarterbacks. But that's probably where I would rank Cam Ward. Superflex is a huge value, so we'll put him over here. And then our other two monster QBs, you all know who I'm going to say. We got Milroe, who we love on this channel. Totally could be a league winner. Could be a Seattle Seahawks, franchise winner. And then of course our boy Joe Milton. These two guys have tremendous value if they ever are forced to start. Milton, I think, eventually takes Dak's job, and that's coming from somebody that constantly talks Dak up. So you need to very much understand where I'm coming from on that. I believe Dak is a great quarterback. I don't think he's elite, but I think he's great. I think he's good to great. And he's going to ball out, but he gets hurt a lot. And if this guy goes in, I don't know that he comes out of the lineup. And that's just something you got to accept. And it's confusing because we like Dak, but you might want to make sure if you're a Dak Dynasty owner, you got Milton on your roster. And even if you're a redraft owner and you've got enough spots, especially if you have enough spots, you better look to grab Milton, because Milton probably wouldn't let go of that job. You got to keep in mind that Jerry Jones, when asked about Dak, when Dak was kind of ruled out for the rest of the year last year, and he was asked, how do you think you're going to play without Dak? And he said, better. He's not as sold on Dak as you think, and he waited forever to sign Dak for the extension. Don't think that this doesn't become a Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers situation, at least in Dallas terms. If something happens, Milton goes in and looks good, and the fan base doesn't want Milton to come out, Jerry will stick with him, I believe. This is probably where we let it go. Penix Jr. is borderline someone I would bring up just because he can go so late, but he's such a big name, we're going to leave him off the board and just say, you know better. into question Penix Jr. Cam Ward, I already said that. We've got Shador's kind of somebody we bring up too. Shador could be a pretty good league winner. These are league winners. These are league winners. And looking at this, my favorite, probably my couple favorite. I don't even know how do I pick favorites here. How do I pick favorites? I love all these guys. They're fantastic. I'd probably say I'm tight end. My favorite's likely, obviously. Favorite running back I would probably say is Guerendo. But I very, very much love Sharps almost near as much. I'm loving Deebo and Egbuka. Samson Blue. I can't choose. These are all league winners. Not all of them will be league winners, but these are all league winner candidates. And these are players that you need to be astute about when the time is right. Dial into the phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Now, we're going to get into a couple, we're going to do a couple, what are they? The sophomores and rookies. Just because I think we can do it. I don't know how many I'm going to draft tonight. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. We'll do at least 2 of these, maybe more. Depends how quick they go. They go very fast. That link has been dropped in the live chat. The link is in the description of the video in case you're watching a replay. Code Smitty gets it done as well if you're watching a replay or just want to use the code Smitty and download the app yourself. But the code Smitty gets inserted for you if you just use the link. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000, but the minimum's only $10, and the drafts we're about to do tonight are $5. So if you do a $10 minimum, they'll give you $5. You'll have 3 drafts that you can partake in. Rookies and sophomores, click that. Not everybody's going to get in the same one because there's only 4 people in each draft. Everybody click it now. Go. And if you don't get in, don't get mad. Don't fret. Don't get upset. We'll do another 1, maybe 2. Because these go so quick. So don't get upset. Plus, we can talk about what you're getting, and you can watch me draft and kind of try and deploy the same strategy maybe in your league. Let me just log in real quickly and go from there. Let me see. Okay, here we go. And the phone lines are open if you'd like to discuss anything. Draft starts in 37 seconds, so I'm trying to log in quickly in time and pull that sucker up. Draft, let me find it. Active drafts. Where's the one counting down? There, where is it? 22 seconds. There it is. There she is. Rookies and sophomores, go to draft. Let me deploy the draft board so you all can watch. And let's move over to the draft board screen. Now I'm going to move this over here. I got Travis calling in. Travis, what do you hear? What do you say? Appreciate you dialing in. What do you think about the sleepers? Is there anybody that you really, really like that you want to further discuss that I showed, or what's going on?
I was gonna ask you about Drake May.
Yeah, you know what? Not to suggest that let me just move. Hold on one second. This damn thing. Trying to get it to minimize a little bit so this is a little bit easier to follow. Drake May, yeah, that's somebody that, if I'll go back on the screen and put him on there. He's certainly got league winning capability, or I could just mention it. Sure. I think he's definitely somebody that has that potential. Now, if you acquired like a McLaurin or something like that, which I don't think will happen, but that's even more so. I'm going to go Bucky. Let's go BTJ and Bucky here. Yeah, Drake May, his running ability alone. Love Drake May. Yeah. What do you think about Drake May? I mean, you're a Patriot fan, but where do you think he is in terms of?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he has to prove it still, but I saw enough last year that if he keeps progressing, I think he's a top 10 capable QB because of his running ability and I think Kyle Williams is going to be good right away.
Do you like
be elite right away? But
do you like Drake May or Cam Ward more?
I lean May. I think they're close, but for fantasy, I definitely take May because of the rushing upside. But I love Cam Ward too. I mean, like Cam Ward, he'll make some mistakes, because he's not afraid to chuck it around a little bit. But
Yeah.
Smitty, I got a dynasty.
Hold on one second, bro. One second. I'm just talking to Travis here. So Travis, do you think that what situation do you think is better right now, Tennessee's or New England's, for this quarterback conversation we're having?
Let's see. I mean, until we see for sure what, like Diggs healthy and Kyle Williams, running routes, you probably have to say Titans might be a little better for a QB, only because like Ridley's a better receiver.
That's the only reason why I lean, like, because as I'm getting older too, it's not every year I play fantasy, I get more and more driven toward wanting the better situation and not trying to will it to happen. And I'm not saying you can't see it. Like JD5 situation was supposed to be bad, but we saw through it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I just said, oh, from last year, Washington's bad, I'm going to go ahead and sit back and wait this one out. But I do find myself, when I don't believe that the situation is going to get tremendously better, and I think it could be a little bit of the same. I like it a lot. The situation looks good. It probably could get better. Hold on, let me just draft Ray Davis here. So, like, I agree with you. Like, if you're looking at Tennessee, it does feel a little stronger, and so that's where I'm going to make my lean. Whereas I think, maybe even not last year, but like 5 years ago, I would have been like, balls to the wall, doesn't matter, Drake May. And I just think I'm getting smarter with that part. That was because everybody has weaknesses. I think my main weakness that I'm trying to overcome, because everybody's got them, is that the situation, if you judge the situation right, again, Washington's the perfect example of people might judge it, but you see the situation different. But if you do believe in your heart that the situation's not good, there's going to be some limits to what the players can do. So, like, that's the only thing that makes me... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would still take Drake May, because I think May is going to improve on his own, working in the offseason. And I think as long as Diggs is healthy, I think Diggs is still just as good as Ridley is. And I think Kyle Williams is going to even surprise some people.
Yeah.
At how quick he takes down. I'm admitting there's a little risk with that. I'm assuming something.
Yeah.
By saying
I do think it all hinges on Henderson, because my thinking that if New England can be a better offense than the Titans from like the beginning of the season or right away, it has to be Henderson. So if they lean on Henderson, and Kyle Williams is pretty good, he didn't have to be like even BTJ. I'm not saying that, but if Kyle Williams is good and Trey Henderson is Breece Hall, then all of a sudden this is an even race between Drake May and Cam Ward. And then I'm getting excited about Drake May. I'm definitely leaving the door open for Drake May to be as good or better than Cam Ward this year. The door's open. That's why I said, like, I put him on the list of being a league winner for sure. I just don't know.
Yeah, I think Cam Ward is gonna be very good. I think there'll be some games that he struggles this year, where just catching up with the speed of the league and everything. I think on the whole he's going to be good this year, but I think there'll be a couple games where he has a tendency here and there to, like I said, chuck it around a bit, which I love out of a quarterback. I love that mentality. Some of them don't even have it anymore. But I think he'll go up against.
It just comes down to like weapons. If Henderson is used as a weapon and they use him often, and Kyle Williams develops fastly and he's good, and he ends up being good, then this is a whole different thing. It's kind of like, the way I look at it right now is New England's either going to be the Colts in terms of the Colts receivers, or it's going to be so much better because Henderson becomes one of those receiving options. That's kind of what the way I look at it. Like the Colts feel very, the passing attack feels so limited, but May is 10 times the quarterback, 100 times the quarterback Danny Dimes. You need Diggs to be healthy, and or Kyle Williams to be the real deal. And we love Kyle Williams, and then all of a sudden May takes a big leap forward. But how does he do it if he doesn't have people catching the ball? But yeah, he's
and
like for sure.
Henderson's a great point, because I mean that just to have that, safety blanket of being able to dump off and his ability to hit a home run anytime he gets the ball in his hands, that changes so much alone from last year.
Yeah.
And then his pass protection and the line should be better. And, everything should just be better. Last year, if you're being honest, there was garbage. I know obviously everyone didn't watch every Patriots game. I did, and it was ugly. It was tough to watch. How bad they were.
If it was me, and I said this the same thing about Carolina. If this was me in charge of New England, I'd bring in Amari Cooper and I'd bring in Keenan Allen. I wouldn't even hesitate. You give Drake May both those guys, one of which is still gonna have a lot of gas left in the tank. Maybe both do. Your team, your offense, the ability to move the football down the field and live in the red zone becomes night and day. There's no reason Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper shouldn't be on teams right now. And this point here, Caps, we bring this up a lot. Isaiah Bond, 32 teams should be signing Isaiah Bond, but like New England teams that need wide receivers even more so, because he's an electric player. And this is one reason why I think Judkins won't sign his deal anytime soon, is because if Bond isn't being signed by one NFL team, that means the teams are being told not to sign him or something's going on. Yeah, so you can bet that same instruction from whoever it's coming from, Goodell, whoever, not to sign Judkins is going to be the same, aggressive, don't do it tone. Bond is amazing. Bond is a great wide receiver. He's better than Golden. He was quietly my 4/5 rookie wide receiver. So Caps, you're not wrong. I mean, anybody that takes him will be getting a star. Potential star at least. Not a star yet, but a potential. But Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper with Diggs and Kyle Williams with Hendy, whole different situation. Like, why won't New England do that? It's sitting right in front of you.
I don't get it. And it's like instead they sign Mac Hollins and they're holding on to Kendrick Bourne. Like, even if you want to keep all the younger guys, throw those guys to the wolves. What good do those guys do? Like in the grand scheme of things, compared to a Keenan Allen or an Amari Cooper.
Yeah, like no offense, JR, but like this comment right here, I really like Keyshawn Butte. I mean, Booty,
like
he's
talented.
He's not Keenan Allen.
What's his deal
now? That's a
bad. I know people.
Go ahead.
Like, people hold on to the fact that Keyshawn Booty, when he was in college, before he was a year before he was in the draft, if you went and looked at mock drafts, they had him going in the first round and some of them and this and that, but he didn't live up to that. So it's not like that's not his ceiling.
But to answer your question about Drake May, this is what needs to happen. And by the way, I'm not saying this can't happen. If anybody thinks I'm down on Drake May, or I think that Hendy isn't going to turn the whole team around, again, I'm just saying, when push comes to shove and someone says, do you love Hendy? My answer. My answer is Hendy's a potential top 7 to 10 running back this year. But when asked the question of May and Ward this year, it comes down to the receivers. I think Hendy's going to be a big part of that, but we need Kyle Williams to be what we believe he could be, because we love Kyle Williams on this channel. If Kyle Williams gets even 905 and you get Hendy to play to the level that Hendy can play receiving wise, Drake May easily is on the same level as Cam Ward, if not maybe higher. So that's not that big of an ask to get 905, maybe 905 and 6, maybe 906 or 7. I don't know. But this is a quarterback that needs somebody to be on their way to being this team's number one wide receiver, and has to show signs of it. I don't think Diggs is going to give you that on the year. Who knows? Maybe he does. Maybe Diggs stays healthy, but we'll see. If Diggs can do it, then you're fine there too. Like Diggs or Kyle Williams, which is pretty decent odds that you get some surprisingly solid production, and then they become equals at least. But I just think Ward looks so good right now. I just can't imagine how much better he's going to get. He's really, really solid.
And the other thing with Ward too is that anytime you hear him talk, like every time I hear him talk, I like him more.
Yeah,
he's humble, and he knows what he has to do, and I love it how he kind of is flying under the radar too.
Yeah, he's very much fun. So your question was a trick question because it made me feel like a Drake May hater or a New England hater, and I'm not. And just so you guys know, I love you guys know I love Henderson. He's gonna go crazy, but I just hope that I look, they're throwing to him in practices, and you see him all over the place on the field now. I just hope this isn't a Keon Coleman, where it's like they're using him, everything looks great, and then when it comes to crunch time, it's like, where is he? But I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the case. They drafted him to protect Drake May, and he's the best pass protector in the draft. Oh, I'm sorry, I got someone on hold here. Klondike, hold on 1 second. 605 caller. I'm sorry about the wait, bro. What can I do for you? And let's all jump into one more draft. Click it right now. Sophomores and rookies. Smash the button in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, Smitty, you're good, bro. Hey, just want to say I love the content. I just want to give you the lineup. I'm in a 10-man Dynasty League. We just started this one up this year. And I've been making some crazy moves, but I think that this is the biggest sleeper in the league. But we got Patty, we got Henderson, Harvey, Judy, Mooney, Myers, Downs, Johnson. We got Luther Burden. We got Egbuka. We got Kyle Williams. What do you think of that lineup?
I like it. Name the RBs and what start. Just name the starters only, though. Don't go through the whole thing again. What was it? You got Mahomes.
Okay. Yeah, Henderson.
Okay.
Harvey, and then you can flex too. So then I also have Caleb Johnson in a flex.
Okay.
How we feeling about that?
And then the wide receivers, the starters only.
Yeah, starters. So I'll just give you the starting lineup.
Thank you, Matt Huff.
Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson, I already got that. Just need the receivers.
Judy, Mooney, and Myers.
Those are your receivers?
Yeah.
I like the running backs in Mahomes, but those are not strong wide receivers though.
They're pretty weak.
Yeah.
But like I said, on the bench I've got Buka, Burden, Horton, Pat Bryant.
Buka is probably going to be your starter, but damn, man, I don't know. That's
Kyle Williams.
You got a lot of work to do on that one. I don't know if you thought I was going to say something different, but the receivers are just, they need some work. That's a brutal wide receiver room. Brutal.
And I'll be honest, it's a brutal league. I mean, some guys went pretty heavy on wide receiver early.
So that was a draft. That was a fresh draft you did?
Yeah.
What were you doing when wide receivers were getting drafted? So
yeah. Believe me, I took Jamar Chase. I had the first overall pick, and I took Jamar. But we moved off Jamar.
What do you mean we moved off Jamar? Don't put we in that boat.
Yeah, this league's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of trades.
I'm confused, bro. I feel like you're dancing around the verbiage so that I don't know what's really going on.
No.
Does anybody else feel like that?
I'm being 100% honest with you. This was my first Dynasty League.
Okay.
But I got offered.
Yeah. What was the Chase trade?
What's that?
What was the Chase trade? What did you give Chase away for?
Eco and Omarion.
Who?
I traded Nico Collins I received Nico
I
Collins.
thought you
and
had
Amari.
Judy, Mooney, and Myers as your receivers.
Yeah. Like I said, there's been a lot of trades in this league.
Bro,
Hey, what
I'm really confused as to what
I
happened.
want to know what happened.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
What was okay, you traded Chase for Nico and who then? Let me go back and reverse
Omari
it.
and Hampton.
Nico and Amarian. Okay, so you got now where did Hampton go?
Yeah, Hampton went
And Nico.
to he went to a Chargers loving team. So it was sad. It was sad that it happened. It was short lived. Like I said,
Whoa,
it's a pretty
does anybody feel like he's dancing around every question I have? It's like
No.
Yeah, like who'd you get for one?
bro,
I'm answering.
What was the trade?
you're not answering. Your answer is like I said, it's a really, really crazy league.
You sound like you donated them to the guy who was a fan of them.
Okay, so hold on. You traded Jamar Chase away for, and I'm not trying to like put you on the spot here. You're not answering the questions. You're just saying like I said, it's a really bad. Nico and Hampton. Okay, so that's not a bad trade at all. And then you traded Hampton away for what?
I think what happened is I got offered.
I think
George
what
Kittle.
no. It's not. I think what happened. It happened. Bro, you're dancing around. Do you not see that you're dancing around this like you've got tap dancing shoes on? It's like you're trying to soften the blow for me so that I'm okay with it.
I love
Okay,
it.
Hampton for what?
Hampton turned into George Kittle in a first.
Okay. Let me just draft real quick. Hold on. Damn, I'm kind of losing track of what I need to do on this draft. Let's go. I'll go Caleb Johnson here. I don't really go Caleb a lot, but okay. So you turned Hampton into George Kittle in a first.
Yeah.
Okay, so the firsts involved that we can't see are part of what's happening here with the team. So at least we can grasp that there's stuff here that's invisible. Unless you got rid of the first rounders and I don't know where they went. Okay, what did you get for Nico?
Well, that was kind of another bad.
What's your name, bro? You're gonna become a show favorite immediately.
Yeah, put me on the show, man.
What's your name, bro? What's your name? Is
Jamal.
it Jamal? I was gonna say if it starts with a D, it'd be beautiful. Dancing Danny. Jamal the. Somebody give me a name. Jamal the jumping through hoops. Jamal. Okay, you got rid of Nico for what?
So I got offered this one, and I should have turned it down, but we're just gonna keep going with it. Pacheco and 2 firsts.
Who?
But Isaiah Pacheco and 2 firsts.
Oh, he's addicted to picks.
Yeah, you don't even know where these first rounders are going, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
I didn't know where I was going, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so now you got 3 first rounders though. Let's see if you even have those anymore. I doubt it. Okay, so
I got him.
Okay, so Chase is gone.
Yeah.
He just vanished in thin air. Now, do you still have Kittle?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can write Kittle over here. All right. And so you've got Mahomes, Hendy, Harvey, Judy, Mooney, Myers, Kittle. That's your team? That's essentially your starters. You got Egbuka.
Yeah, Josh Downs is in the lineup too, in the starting lineup. But I mean, he can move anywhere.
Okay. Well, I guess at the end of the day, I don't really know how this is going to end for you because the picks are involved. But this is something that I certainly wouldn't have. Wouldn't have done this. Now, the only thing, if you want to keep it and play for the future, I don't know why in the hell you went after Kittle when you're doing this kind of build. But
he couldn't resist the first. Saw the first.
So originally I had CMC, Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, so I had a little bit of a stack going, and then that kind of digressed. So some guys went.
Are you a Niner fan?
Oh, big Niners fan.
Yeah, you got to let that go, bro. That's not that
But
great.
yeah, and I did. Like I said, I did. I let that one go. Let
Okay.
somebody else take.
Well, I don't know, bro.
How many first-round picks do you have right now? Your name?
3.
What about your own? Where's your own?
My own is on another team.
Ah, bro, you got rid of the 1.1. He traded the
But
best pick.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Smitty. We got Buka, Burden, Horton,
We.
and
Why
Kyle
you keep
Williams.
saying we? This is not our team. I'm not taking any sort of ownership of this team at
Yeah,
all.
I don't
Stop
want
throwing
credit
me.
for this.
Stop throwing me into this we BS. The only thing you can do, bro, is you first of all, Hendy and Harvey and Buka, don't trade them, please. They don't have the value.
Oh, they're not. Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Forgive me if I don't believe you. Oh, they're not going anywhere. All it takes is, well, see, here's the thing. First rounder. I'll give you. Follow me. Follow
here's
me,
what
first rounder.
Okay, here's what I did. Okay, I drafted a pretty good team to start, and then we made some bad decisions, and then
We didn't make anything. You made you. Stop
I-
tying me to this team.
I decided after a few bad trades, I looked at the league overall, and I said, okay, I'm a weak contender at best, and so in a dynasty
You said,
startup,
give me Kittle.
I did an active rebuild in a dynasty startup, and
Bro,
here we are.
what was your team? What did you draft originally? Let me tell you whether this is a weak team or not. It doesn't sound like it was going to be. Jamar Chase, who was your second round pick?
I think I took JSN on the turn.
And the second round?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
What's that?
Yeah, where'd you
He's
trade?
gone too.
I took Jamar, then I went JSN, and then obviously because I was 1, it came back for the 3, and then I took Jaden Daniels.
Okay. Whoa. Where'd JD5 go? Oh my God, bro. All right. Hold on.
JD5 turned into something legendary.
Okay, what?
So
Wait to hear.
at the time, I took Brock Purdy in like the 8th or 9th round. I don't know if I can pull up the draft in the sleeper app, but I pulled up. I think I took Purdy.
Bro.
I took Purdy 8th or 9th. Okay. I also took Dak in like the 14th or 15th round because it's a super deep league, super deep benches. So I was sitting there like, okay, I don't need 3 quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback league. So I just turned Jaden Daniels into RJ Harvey. Pretty good, right?
So where did Mahomes come from? And what happened to JSN? I'm just curious now. This is interesting.
So there was a trade where I turned JSN and a first into Puka, and then Puka disappeared.
Bro, where did
He's owned every player in the NFL.
Where did Puka
Yeah,
go?
every
but
point-
at one point in time, yeah, there was quite a
What'd
bit
you
on the
trade?
team.
What'd you trade Puka for?
I had Rice,
Why do you keep saying we?
Puka.
You had Rice, bro. I'm starting not to believe this. I'm starting to not believe this. This is
Yeah.
getting crazy.
Smitty, this is real. This is real.
This
I'm
can't
not
be.
making
This
it
is
up.
no, this can't be.
I promise.
My last question is, first of all, JD5 for Harvey was not a good trade. Harvey's
in a 1 quarterback league, and I have Mahomes. I mean, I just moved on. You know.
but that's not how you go. You don't give away your house because you got another one. Okay, so JD5 Mahomes. Okay, who did you draft after JD5? I want to make this into a shirt.
I'm trying to see if I can see that.
Oh my God, this is unreal. This is like a horror story.
This is a legendary story.
No, it's not I wouldn't call it legendary, bro. I would call it a unfolding.
Infamous.
Yeah, I would call it a burning down of a franchise.
We started off great. We ended
we
in the
didn't.
middle.
We didn't. Go ahead.
I.
Why you keep saying we? You know why you keep saying we? I got a psych degree. You're trying to defer some of the pain off on another individual because it's too hard to burden this all by yourself. And you're laughing because it hurts so bad. All right. Jamar Chase, JSN, JD5. Then what'd you take? And the Purdy thing in the 8th round was not a great pick, by the way. So go ahead. I know you thought it was. You're like, but I got Purdy in the 8th round. Go ahead. JD5.
I'm trying to get the draft board here.
You're a good sport, by the way. You're a good sport, by the way. You got tough skin, thick skin.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you I made some mistakes, but I'm not really worried about it, you know.
Man. Go ahead. What do you got? 4th round.
I'm trying to pull it up. I don't know how to pull that up.
Okay. Well, I think we got enough. I think we got enough here. This is just brutal. I just don't know how. So if I was to fix this team, and for anybody that doesn't realize this is not on his team, these are just, we're trying to follow the story. You're going to have to trade away Kittle if you can. I don't even know if you can. You're going to have to trade away those first rounders if you're trying to fix it now. Otherwise, you could wait it out and see what you get out of these first rounders and see if you can build that way. I wouldn't keep making it worse, though. Trading Kittle and, maybe a Judy to get a pick again, or, do something along the lines of buying. I just don't think you can. I don't even want to tell you to fix this, though, because you'd have to do a couple big moves. I'd almost say just keep rebuilding. I'd keep heading in that direction. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that after the 26th draft, I mean, I think I'm a league winner. I don't, 326 first is going to revolutionize that team. So.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too.
All right, later.
Later.
I don't know. I don't even know if I believe half of that. That was getting a little wild. I kind of believe him. Kind of sounded like legitimately, injured in his soul from this ordeal. Klondike, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. That call was crazy.
That was the worst.
That was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was crazier than the Zodiac guy last night.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe it. I don't know. I mean, that was just crazy. All right. What can I do for you, Klondike?
Yeah.
I'm worn out, but that's right.
All right. Well, mine's going to be more concise than that. That was wild. Mm-hmm. So also part of a 10-team Dynasty League, but we've been playing for like 8 years, so it's nothing like that. I traded Saquon. I already asked you about this. I traded Saquon for Drake London and the 105.
Okay.
And so we have a 3-round rookie draft each year. So I traded Saquon for Drake London and the 105.
Okay.
And so my question...
Sorry. You haven't drafted
yet?
Okay.
No, not yet. No. And so my question to you is, it's going to be obviously Genty, Hampton, Hunter, Hendy that goes the first 4. And so at 5, I'm left with McMillan, Egbuka, or a running back, Harvey or Johnson. And I'm kind of struggling with like those 4 choices right there.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty stacked at. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd say you either believe in Harvey or you don't. The way I would look at this is, for me, I believe in Harvey so much, and I believe that for this to really be worth it, you want to swing for the outcome that could trump the Barkley side. I think if you were to go Egbuka, I love Egbuka, I do, or Ted McMillan if you like Ted. I don't like Ted here, but it's understandable to have those 2 wide receivers. And you're about to say you're loaded at running back?
Yeah, that's why I was comfortable trading Barkley away.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I have a pretty stacked team. Like I said, we've been playing for 8 years, and so I've done a lot of moves. Not like the other guy, but so I have an overall well-rounded team, but I was a little thin at wide receiver. Let's hope that Marvin Harrison Jr. turns out this year, because then I'll be good. But
I'm going
so
Harvey.
like
I'm going Harvey.
I'm kind of leaning towards wide receiver because I was a little thin. But
you'll have London and MHJ. You're fine.
Oh, I have CeeDee Lamb too.
You're not thin at receiver.
Yeah, you're good.
Even Jamal knows that.
But behind CeeDee Lamb, I had MHJ, but MHJ, didn't quite turn out.
I don't care about.
And then I had.
I don't care about the bench. Even Jamal knows this. Jamal would have said smash this trade. Then he would have flipped it for a first rounder. But look, you've got Lamb. You've got probably one of the most stacked wide receiver rooms you could possibly draft. You can't even draft that. You can't even draft your wide receiver room. And you're saying you're light at wide receiver, or you're thin. You're not. I don't care how thin it is after, bro. MHJ, Lamb, and London. That makes me lock Harvey in. I want that running back shot more than anything. Who are your RBs?
Okay. So I mean, I have Bijan.
Okay. Grandma League.
I'm sorry. Like I said, we've been playing for 8 years. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's so many trades like on top, like years and years and years of stuff.
People pass.
So I have. Oh my God! Like, give me a break. I've drafted well as well.
Okay.
Like I won the league, and then I traded for the 101 for Bijan.
So give me your running backs. Bijan and who?
Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Joe Mixon.
You need running backs more than you need wide receivers, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah, your wide receivers are better.
Your wide receivers are taking even with Bijan, your wide receivers are taking laps around your running backs.
Okay.
Yeah, you go Harvey. And I would trade Jacobs while you can. Part of me would trade. I'd trade Jacobs in the 1.5 to get Genty.
That's not going to happen.
See if we can do it.
Huh?
Yeah, no, my roommate is actually the one that has the 101. He's not giving it up for anything.
Okay, well, I would consider doing something with Jacobs, man. 1.5 in Jake. You could even go, if you're uncomfortable with Harvey, 1.5 in Jacobs for. Can you just go down the list of Gibbs, and just you're probably gonna Bucky. You're probably gonna stop a hard stop very quickly. Achan, Bucky, and then kind of boom.
What if you're gonna get a pick to Hampton if you could move up?
Mm-hmm. I'm liking Hampton there too. That's fine.
What was that, Travis?
Jacobs 1.5 so you can get Hampton.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd try and get something else with it, but that kind of maneuver. But Harvey's great, bro. I love Harvey. I mean, you might be very disappointing yourself by not even having Harvey. Harvey's got a ball. But
I like Harvey as well.
But can you get Gibbs or Bucky using the 1.5 and Jacobs? That's a lot to offer somebody.
Yeah, I could try.
All right.
I'm a Packers fan though.
Well,
so
Klondike, you got to learn.
Throw that out the window. I would trade any Patriots player, even when they were good, if it's not my fan.
Do you like Klondike bars?
That's part of why it was a nickname. What would you do for a Klondike bar, Smitty?
Do you like Klondike bars? No, I'm asking. Do you really?
Not particularly.
Is your last name from the Klondike bar? Are you related to the Klondike family?
No, definitely not.
Well,
it's just a childhood nickname.
So your name's Klondike. You don't like Klondike bars. Okay. See how you separated that? So that's all you got to do with the Green Bay Packer thing. Just because you're a Packer fan doesn't mean treat it like Klondike bars, bro. You can figure it out. I believe in you.
Yeah.
If Jamal can
I've also been a Josh Jacobs fan since he was in college. I'm just a huge fan of Josh.
Okay, well then I don't know what to say. I would say take Harvey then. Take Harvey. Have a good running back stable.
Take Harvey. So, but I just want to pick your brain a little bit about the wide receivers. So McMillan right there, I'm not a huge believer in it. But, I mean, he is, the top guy available at the 105. But then I was thinking maybe go Egbuka because, like you said, my wide receivers are pretty stacked. I could afford going a year Maybe, someone gets hurt, turns out, not like rooting for that or anything, but like I could go a year and then Embuka just turns up on top. Like, what do you think about that?
Then what? Can you start him? Are you going to bench MHJ? Like, what's your plan?
We have 3 flexes, so I mean, I could still start him.
Yeah, I mean, do what you feel is right, but and I don't think Egbuka is crazy to take over Harvey. I'm not saying that, but I would take Harvey. Okay. I'm looking like I'm crazy, bro. I'm absolutely crazy. I'd be throwing Walker, Jacobs, and a 1.5 trying to get like Gibbs in something small that I like. I'll be out there swinging big using these pieces before they either fall apart or you can't get rid of Jacobs anymore, or Walker becomes a player that's untradeable. Walker could be either amazing or he could be ETN. ETN was a top 5 running back like a year ago, and
right.
now he's trash. I'm not saying he can't rebound under Liam Cohen. That's not my point. I'm merely saying trade value wise, Walker might be something that if you threw him in, you think, oh, that's crazy. But in Dynasty, go get a Gibbs. Your team's stacked enough as it is. You got Lamb, MHJ, London. If you once you make this, or you did make this trade, and if you can get Gibbs to go alongside of Bijan, you don't need anybody else. So could Jacobs, Walker, and the 1.5 get you Gibbs?
Yeah. I mean, I think
I would smash it. No, it's not. Not in a league where you have Bijan, Gibbs, Lamb, MHJ, and London. You don't need it. You can afford to overpay to the moon because no one's beating that team. No one.
Yeah.
You can't get too conservative.
Like you said, Klondike, you made all these moves so you have a deep team to make these type of moves to upgrade.
Chat, am I wrong that you overpay on that to get Gibbs? Bijan, Gibbs, Lamb, London, MHJ. Who's your quarterback?
Well, thanks to you, JD5, and I have Hurts also. Both of them are because of you, Smitty. I got to give you. Well, I didn't even have to draft Hurts. Like the year that he was drafted, he fell to waivers, and I picked him up.
This is where. And
then JD5, I drafted him.
Now, Klondike, I like you. I like you. I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but this is where Klondike, the personality of Klondike, can irk me at times. Tell me this isn't a 1 QB league.
It is.
And you're sitting there with Jalen Hurts, just sitting there on the bench, not exploring ways to upgrade your lineup. You got JD5, and you're sitting there on the bench. Hurts is sitting there looking at you, and you're exploring these other ideas. This is where Klondike and Smitty butt heads a little bit. Like you can go get Gibbs now.
It's a 1 QB league, so everybody has a QB.
But Hurts is top 4. Like you're telling me you can't keep your precious Jacobs and go trade maybe the 1.5 and Walker and Hurts for Gibbs, or you can't figure out a way to make Hurts, who someone doesn't have a top 4 or 5 QB, they have a 7 or 8. You can't use Hurts to get the Gibbs trade done. Bro, you get Gibbs, it's over. It's over. Like I could tell you're a conservative person that wants to just be safe. You want the ball. How many
I am shrewd.
How many cases of water do you have stored right now inside the home in case of an emergency? How many?
Like 7.
7? Truly, you really do.
Yeah. But I drink off of them. I'm not just letting them sit there.
Psych degree. Nobody reads people better than your boy Smitty. I'm like a tarot card reader, only it's a fantasy card reader. Klondike, start making moves, bro. You got weapons.
Just think about that. If you have Bijan and Gibbs and you're keeping Jacobs, like right there, you're loaded at running back. So you can afford to give up Walker and anything else.
All right, hey Klondike, I gotta go. Appreciate you. I'm tired. I got tacos that have been sitting there on the counter this whole entire live stream. I appreciate you. Go make some deals and go get Gibbs so it's over. It's over. You get Gibbs, it's over. Okay?
All right.
All right, later, bro.
All right.
Good job.
Thanks, Smitty.
Yeah. Let me get to rock out calling here at the last second. Rock out, I have to go, so I'm going to take your call just real quickly. Ron Navy's calling. Ron Navy, I mean this in the best way possible. I'm going to have you make it as short as possible. You say that, but then it goes on for like 45 minutes. I've done this before with Ron. Ron's like, this is why I call my mom. I can't get out with him. Ron, hold on 1 second. Rock out. You first. 10 to 15 seconds because I'm closing it out. Hit me with it.
Okay.
Rock out left. Let me add him one more time. Hold on. Here he is. All right, rock out as quick as you can. As quick as you can.
What do you think about your favorite GM Ryan Poles get extension?
Yeah, that was a few days ago. That was such a bad move. Oh, he's so bad.
Bailing your way out.
Ryan Poles is so bad. They like him. I don't know why. They do. Not a good move. Everybody's a scapegoat but him. Let me go to Ron Navy real quick. Rock out. Think of one more question. I'll come back to you. Ron Navy, you're live.
Hey,
Ron.
what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Mom? I gotta go. What's going on? This Klondike
The
character.
last time you ever let me rant for 45 minutes, I don't even remember. You always get me off the phone quick.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
All right. What do you think about Klondike's? I knew he had water.
7 cases of water.
I mean, I knew it. I could smell it from a mile away. I think that's the
Yeah.
kind of guy who hoards water.
But
He hoards some water. Probably has a little gas can somewhere too.
yeah, he's like me. I hoard water too.
Got the same 4 shirts he's wore for 15 years.
I got some of those.
Not because he doesn't have the resources. It's just that's what Klondikes do. No, I do like Klondike though. But what do you got in your mind, Ron? Before I run to get my tacos, before I get salmonella.
Oh, you got tacos, huh?
They've been
I
waiting.
took me a couple steaks earlier.
What can I do for you?
Hey, well, I know you talked about the Rice situation earlier. Did you talk about Addison too?
Yeah, Addison, we expect to be kind of a similar suspension, but Addison probably, if I had to guess, will get more games by 1 or 2, or I don't know. There's a Washington Post report that said that don't be so quick to even assume that Rice gets a suspension. It didn't involve alcohol or anything like that. I mean, he could have. The way he ran away, hid that fact, but there's no way to prove that. So hard to know. I don't think he escapes without a suspension, but I do believe people need to pause for a second and entertain the idea that this isn't America's team, but it's the commissioner's team, is maybe immune from things a little more than the average team. But if that happens, then Addison will surely see a shorter suspension because they can't make them too far apart. And I know a lot of people will argue that Addison's was not as bad as, I get it. People have different debates about how dangerous it was and that people were put in the hospital, and I get all that. But you also got to factor in that at the end of the day, even though speeding and reckless driving was involved, it was a car accident where no one was injured so badly that their life was threatened, and it was not a drinking under the influence or any sort of impaired type situation, which is clearly a lot worse on the surface level, regardless of the details. And the way the league, and more importantly, the way the league's going to look at it. That's just the way they're going to look at it, in my opinion.
Here's what I'm wondering, and I don't know if you know the answer to this or not. You might not. You might have to ask somebody that I'd like to know legally, because wasn't it Rice? They gave him 30 days in jail and 5-year probation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because normally, as far as I know, you have to meet with a probation officer every week. So how does that work for an NFL player who's traveling all the time playing games? How does probation work like that?
It's probably not the same probation. I'm sure there's different levels and layers to that kind of thing. Like, I imagine it's going to be like he's got to stay out of trouble. He's got to do so much community service per year, and it's going to be very different than I don't think it's a one-size-fit-all thing anyway. It's probably just going to be the judge using his discretion. He's a different type of person, different type of lifestyle. Who the hell knows what he's got to do? But I don't know. We'll probably have more of those
Just
details.
don't break the law.
Yeah, it's not going to
We're
be.
we're talking Texas here, and Texas is pretty. When they lower the boom, they lowered the boom
They
pretty
clearly
good in
did.
Texas.
They clearly didn't, though. You know, they didn't here.
I mean, 5 years probation, they could really screw with them.
Well, that's what I was saying is how 5-year probation kind of works. I mean, more than any 2, 3, 4 game suspension, just because if he's truly an idiot, now maybe he learned from it, but if he's an idiot, he's going to get in trouble with it. But hopefully they
that's
keep an eye on.
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, but we'll see
5 years.
what happens if he violates that. We don't have any of those details yet. It could be that he has to serve 3 months more or something like that, or he gets fined on the first offense, you know, or depends on what he violates it with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't know the stipulation.
Like, what's he gonna do? Well, if he goes out and speeds and gets a ticket, like, do they send him to jail? Maybe they extend his, you know, amount of time to 40 days. Like, who knows? You know, but I don't. He's got to go out and do something stupid to really have that like truly affect him. All right, I got to hit the tacos here. Ron, what else you got real quickly, and then I'll go back over to Rock Out, then close it out.
No, that's pretty much all I was wondering is the whole probation type of thing. That was my big question.
I imagine that I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen here. He clearly sped it along this process for a few reasons, and they make sense. You know, like he wants to get it out of the way. He says he hasn't been sleeping well, you know, having this thing lingering, and I can understand that. I think, you know, it makes sense. He seems like a good kid, all in all, to be honest. I don't know him, you know, myself personally, but I don't think he is a bad kid. I don't think this is a person that, and I'm not saying Addison is either, but this isn't like a player that I think is I don't know. I think he's going to learn from it, and I don't know that he's going to get this. He might get 4 games, but he might get 1 or 2. He might get, and again, that Washington Post report, I don't think they're that off base saying that there's a possibility. I'm not saying it'll happen, but a possibility that this is like a big fine or something. You know, it's certainly in the realm of possibility. Just because Adam Schefter said it's 2 to 4 games, he's been wrong before, but he probably has a little bit of a line on it, a little bit of inside information on it. So probably going to be 2 to 4 games. I'd plan for 3, just so you're not off either way too much, and hope for the best. But I mean, I'm trading for him in Dynasty, plain and simple.
Yeah, in Dynasty, yeah. I mean, as far as like redraft or
Round
stuff,
5.
I mean, like if you go on, yeah, it's kind of hard with his ADP though, knowing that he's facing up to 6 games, not knowing it, and drafting him with such a high ADP and underdog and stuff like that.
I take the gamble that it's more along lower than 4. You know, people are saying 6 games, but I don't think he's going to get that. It's also a great, or what was it? It was a third-degree misdemeanor, 2 of them. As far as the NFL's, you know, policy on that, I'd have to look. NFL policy, 3rd degree. I don't know if we're going to even have this information. This is stuff that's not like always readily available. Not sure. 3rd degree misdemeanor isn't explicitly defined with a set number of games or fine in NFL's policy. The league does not consider misdemeanor offenses as conduct detrimental and subject to disciplinary action. Discipline can include fines, suspension without pay, or even banishment from the league. Misdemeanor involving violence, such as assault or domestic violence, generally leads to a baseline suspension of 6 games, which is what Judkins would easily get. DUI offenses, including pleas or lesser charges like wet reckless, which is what Addison got charged with, is called wet reckless, which often is a misdemeanor, typically results in a 3-game suspension. So on a first offense, so he might get 4 to 6 games, Addison, because it's not his first offense. So 3-game suspension is that. Crimes involving disorderly conduct, That's the thing about Rice is it's not any of these things, other than just being a misdemeanor. So that's why a fine is a possibility. The severity of the third-degree misdemeanor can vary significantly depending on the specific offenses, from relatively minor infractions to more serious offenses involving violence or harmful behavior. And I think that's where it's gray, because he was so reckless that he could have killed somebody, but the fact remains that he didn't, and it's still an accident, a car accident. I know it was at high speed, so there's the gray area. In essence, the NFL policy allows the league flexibility in disciplining individuals for third-degree misdemeanors, taking into account specifics of the offense and the player's history. So Addison being a multiple offender, Rice not having no history with this, it would not shock me if this was a 0 to 1 game suspension. Who knows?
Yeah, Addison, I've always liked Addison, but you know what? The guy's not learning. The first time, remember the whole thing? Oh, my dog. It had to do with his dog. That's why he was speeding. But he doesn't learn his lesson. He goes out there and then he gets the DUI. It's like, you know what? You're on your own for being stupid.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I have a weird feeling that there's. I'm not saying it's going to be a guaranteed thing where we come in and do a live stream on this and we're hitting this on the nail on the head. But I have a feeling that there's a little more likelihood than people realize of this being on the way lower end to the tune of 0 game suspension to big fine, or a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 game suspension versus a 2 to 4. I don't know. We'll see. We'll tackle it tomorrow. All right, Ron. Appreciate you, bro. Ron to the moon.
All right, later. Have a good one.
Yep. Sorry, I hung up on him already. Rock out real quickly. Last question, last comment. Go.
We think about the Browns' wide receiver core.
Yeah. Not that it can't do well. I like Tillman. I like Judy, but I'm just gonna say nah.
Right.
It's not that it can't produce. It's just there's other options. All right, my boy.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow. Later. Travis, final thoughts.
I'm good.
All right. Later, bro.
Later,
Appreciate you. This one from M4 says Jamal the Juggler. That's the guy's nickname. Jamal the Juggler. Appreciate you with the super chats. And then I've got this one here from Ramirez. Thank you for the $5. Super random, but I'm Bruce Buffer from last year. Changed my handle name. Anyways, just here to say you're the GOAT, Smitty. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate you. Bruce to the moon. Got another Bruce in the building again. Yeah, YouTube changed handles to the actual handle names so that people couldn't, misrepresent things. It's a pretty good move by YouTube, actually. All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you to Sam, Ramirez, and then M4 for dropping those super chats. You guys absolutely rock. And then gifted memberships. Did we have any tonight? I don't think we did. Celebratory messages. We don't have any. Underdog promo code Smitty. Make sure you hit the link that's pinned in the live chat. I'm going to drop the link one more time so that if you want to draft it this next time. I know we only did 2 short sophomores and freshmen, or rookies and sophomores, but I was kind of on a time crunch today. I only had time for an hour and 38-minute live stream. I did not anticipate that. Are tacos okay to eat after an hour and 38 minutes in the bag? I swear and I put Cokes in the freezer too. Shoot. Hey, Kruger, how are I picked up tacos. They're in a container with a lid on it. It's tin foil. It's been in a bag sitting on the counter for an hour and 37 minutes. I did my live stream. Are they okay to eat, or am I going to get sick?
They should be totally fine.
I'm sorry, repeat that. I'm sorry, go ahead, repeat that.
No worries. I was just saying that an hour and a half at room temperature is totally fine. You should be good to enjoy those temperatures without any worries.
And if I had 2 ice cold Mexican sodas, glass Mexican sodas, and I put them in the freezer, and they were chilled to refrigerator temperature, how long until they explode in the freezer?
It usually takes a couple of hours for a soda to actually freeze and potentially explode. So if they're just in there for a little bit, you should be fine.
Okay, Kruger, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm walking out to, Krug, so I appreciate you. All right, guys, I'll see you all later. Thank you for the super chats. make sure you are all ready to go on the Patreon. I'm going to go over there right now and chat with you guys. Here's the Patreon link if you want a 24/7 live chat group. That's where we all go. When the streams end, we pile on in there and we have a chat. It's just a big chat room. So I'll see you all over there. That link I just dropped if you want to become a Patreon member. I'm live Monday through Friday. Hey, Green, I don't know if Green's out there. Green, I'm putting this up there until you tell me that you see this. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. Thank you to my mods, Blackbeard, Sick Nasty, Travis, the Ball, all of you guys. This Space Ricky, this right here, can you please rank MHJ, Rice, DK, JSN, Garrett Wilson? It's Garrett Wilson, MHJ, Rice, Rice, JSN, DK in that order. The only one that moves around a little bit is Rice. If it's Dynasty, I could move him to, but I'm definitely putting Rice after JSN in redraft, but that could change, man, based on what we're talking about right now. See you all later. Appreciate you. I'm going to keep that on here for Green. Green, please let me know if you see that. Travis, if you see Green in the chat, I just want to make sure he feels taken care of. Thank you to all my super chatters. Please get on over to the Patreon. The Patreon link, again, is right here if you want to become a part of the live chat community. See you on Patreon right now. Deuces.